Go.
Hey, welcome to the Ladybug Project. My name is Alyssa Vinehodge, the author of The Sense About Madness. Thank you, Kara. And Kara Adams is the author of the Little Yogi series. And we are meeting weekly online to raise awareness for childhood sexual abuse and to talk about healing. And today we are kind of talking about self-esteem issues and how we rebuild our self-esteem after being shattered from abuse, and also how that connects to our concept of beauty.
Yes.
So, Kara, do you feel like you're still walking through that process, or do you feel like you were kind of shattered at a certain point and had to rebuild yourself in certain ways?
I feel like yes, I'm still walking through the process. I think it's this thing, especially growing up in today's world with all the commercialism, with all the reality TV shows, with all the focus on, hey, your eyelashes can look this long, and if your eyebrows look this way, and pedicures and manicures, and there's so many things, especially I know in America, because that's where we live. It's such a huge thing here. Like, people are always constantly, like, somebody gave me, the only reason I have a pedicure right now is because somebody gave me a gift certificate. But would I go and get that? Normally, no, I wouldn't, because that's not really who I am. And if you notice, if you ever watched our videos before, one thing is I, for the most part, really don't give, I guess I come across that I don't care. But because I usually roll out of bed and have bed hair, and I just don't put anything on today. I put some mascara on and some lip gloss. But for the most part, I think I grew up that way. My mom, I will say this is funny. So my mom, when I was growing up, would spend like an hour getting ready. So she would literally, do her eyebrows and put her makeup on. It had to be, and her hair. And she just took so long. And as an ADHD kid, I'm like, what? Can we go already? And like, cause I would just roll out of bed and I was like, this is ridiculous, and my dad was like, hey, come on. And I was just like so annoyed. So that kind of like set me off for the rest of my life. I'm like, I ain't spending an inch of time on that. And like, I just use my time in different ways, but I do use it to work out because I like to feel good. But when I work out every day, I set that time aside, and that makes me feel really good. And I feel like I don't have to put on the makeup. I don't have to put on a certain layer of clothes. But I guess, yeah, I've always struggled with my self-acceptance, which when you struggle with your self-acceptance, the physical layer, this outer layer, it's like Alyssa was saying layers, right? She said layers to me a little bit ago, and we're like onions. We can peel back so many layers. And when you get to the core of an onion, it has these antioxidants in it that are healing, that can help fight against infections. And I think the core of all of us, there's this beautiful healing core to us that is intricately made and created and can exemplify past all the layers. And when we discover that core layer, every layer beyond that, to the point of our physical layer, becomes so attractive. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, even though I take care of myself physically most of the time and I eat right, but I have to do those things because I have like arthritis and I have all these health issues. Like, my knees are hurting today because I haven't done weights in a week, and so my knees are hurting. So I physically take care of myself. I have to work out daily because I don't want to be in pain. So, and I have to eat right, or I'm really super hyper and bouncing all around like Tigger on Winnie the Pooh, and people can't handle it. So I know myself, so I know I have to do certain things. And it's never been about looking good, even though that's been a great side effect of having my body in really good shape. I will say that for me, having a mother that took care of herself for an hour before she started her day, and then my sister would do the same thing, because they're beautiful, they're just beautiful, and they would take care of themselves, and I just never understood, why are you doing that? For me, it was, I want Alyssa, you share your point of view on this, but for me, beauty, even like meeting Alyssa, when I met you, how old were we, like 12 or 13?
Yeah, I think so.
So we were really young, and when I met her, I got to know her, and then I was just like, you are so gorgeous, Alyssa, you are beautiful. You remember that? I'd be like, you're so pretty. And I think you were like, you're so annoying. And but the thing is, with beauty, for me, it's always been like, I have to really get to know someone, and then I'm like, wow, because there's a lot of girls and guys that are really attractive physically, maybe when you first appealing when you see them, but then like I start to get to know them, and I'm just not attracted to them, and I never really was until I get to know somebody and I see the layers go down, and then when I see that core layer of them, I'm like, that's pretty phenomenal. And but not everybody works that way, right? Right, Alyssa? But I've struggled with the way I've looked, because I felt like I was never good enough. I don't think it was the beauty part. I just felt never good enough as a quality person. And I think that has to do with the trauma that I've been through in my life. Like, I went through pretty much 10 years of verbal abuse from someone, and they would put me down every day, and everything I did, nothing was ever good enough, ever. And so when you're not encouraged and allowed to be this wild, amazing woman or person that you are, you're not allowed to create and embrace this wolf inside you that can howl at the moon and not give a crap about anything else, then you're going to tend to shy away and not feel the confident self that you are, the core of who you are. You can't walk in that. But when you surround yourself, like when I have Alyssa, who I can talk to every day and who's encouraging me and never says, that's stupid. She says, that's a really good idea. What do you think about? And she'll add to it. When you find your pack of wolves, then you run with them, and you can be that wild, creative creation that you are. And that's when I find, like, I embrace who I am. And over the years, I've allowed more and more to embrace who I am, because of the people I'm surrounding myself with. They're encouraging me to be fully me. And they're like, that's great, and they don't put me down and say, well, that's a stupid idea. And so for me, beauty has been, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but beauty for me has been such a deeper level of consciousness, of discovering my worth. And when I discover my worth, then I can start to appreciate more layers of who I am. Alyssa, you need to say something, because I talk way too much today.
Yeah, I would just highlight what you pointed out. It's been the same for me too, is that concept of worth. And I think all people struggle with that in some way. So for me, it's been a long road, and still is, of finding my worth, and building it back up. And I think for a long time, for many years, I neglected the physical layer, almost as an act of rebellion against the expectations of society, or people telling me what beauty was or what I should do with my body. Because I wanted that control. Like, I don't have to have the body that you say I do, or I don't have to look the way that you say I do. But as I'm getting even older and more mature, I realize I don't have to stay in a state of rebellion or either or. I can explore looking good on the external and how that feels to me. And so I have spent a little more time like doing my hair lately, or just thinking about the physical. And I have, as you said, found a really good pack of people. I think it's a popular phrase nowadays, like finding your tribe. But
Yeah.
I have found a tribe of people that really are beautiful from the inside out and the outside in, and just the whole person is who you want to be around, and it does make you feel whole and healed when you when you embrace one another in that way. So, yeah.
I love it. I love that. I think we have an advantage because as we get older, we've been through a lot of experiences, and we can pull from what we've been through and learn. And I don't know, some people are just born, like I meet a lot of younger people that are born knowing their worth, and they're holding on to it. And that's so encouraging because they're not allowing like others, I want to say like condemn or put them down for who and what they are. You know, when you grow up in the 80s, this is like, it's a whole different world, you know, like when you grow up, I was born in the 70s and then went through the 80s and the 90s, and now we're in these times, and it's a whole different level of, there's more self-acceptance nowadays. Even though I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of commercialism, but now there's also a lot of there's a lot more people discovering like self-realization, like the empowerment movement, where people are being empowered to step into their tribe, step into themselves, understand themselves, even though there can be distractions. Like I was showing Alyssa, you guys, you see the Bitmojis, like this is my Bitmoji. Do I look like it? So like sometimes we're given, like Beyonce, who sang the song Diva. I'm a diva and I'm a hustler, and she's like going on, and there's finally this uprising, especially for the women, which is exciting. I think everybody's waking up and they're like, okay, it's time. It's time to be awake. It's time to be aware. It's time to put down shame. It's time to put away that you're not good enough. It's time to put all these other things aside that can keep us from focusing of the core of us, and what the core is screaming to get out, that you are truly beautiful, and be okay with accepting that. And I think it's a good balance. I think we've been through such a shame, and then there's a selfie age where everybody's doing selfies, and people are like, oh, that's so horrible. But you know what? I think there's a balance there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a balance of loving yourself enough to be like, hey, look, I took this picture and this is me and I'm excited about it. And then there's a balance of doing it every day, like, oh, it's all about me, and not seeing anybody else. I think there's a beautiful balance, because once you, like I mentioned earlier, is once you discover the core of you and the essence of who you are, and you come to a place where you can accept it and really love it, then you can see that in every single person around you. Like you can see the beauty. And I think yoga, I always come back to yoga. Yoga's helped me get there really quick too, because yoga is about, when I first started yoga, I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't understand why they're breathing like this. It's loud. It's weird. I don't understand it. And what are they talking about? Hondas? What is all that? You know? But I love like that I've learned so much, and it's made me have to be quiet and still, to the point where I have to face myself And I think a lot of us are just too scared sometimes to face ourselves. And so we instantly put on a mask and say, oh, I'm ugly. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. And we put ourselves down when that's not where we need to go. We need to get to a place of self-love, because you are worthy. If you were born, you're worthy. If you're walking, if you're talking, if you're here on this earth, then you are worthy to be here on this earth, and you have a purpose. And it's an amazing purpose, and nobody else on this earth has that purpose that you have. You specifically are planted where you're planted to be a light and find your pack of wolves to run with and to shine, because you are an amazing creation and you are meant to shine, just as all children are. All children are meant to shine. And unfortunately, during traumas, sometimes we allow that to be taken from us. So, and I'm done. And I think
that was a good ending point.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. And I think we're going to be talking about healing, right, Alyssa? Healing? Did we decide healing, or was it something else?
Depression was one point.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be talking about a few things over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, so depression and healing are some of them. All right.
Maybe depression next week, and then healing for Christmas or in the holidays. So we'll end on a positive note.
Yes. Okay. All right. You guys have an amazing day. Love you. Namaste.
Peace.